Hi everyone, Sue Matsuki here for Nightlife Exchange with another Sue's Muse. Today I have a darling young woman that I have grown to love here in New York. And I wanted to talk to a youngin because I do a lot of interviews with people across the board, but I wanted to find out about what it's like to come to New York and the dream. So please welcome today my guest, Hannah Jane. Hi, darling.
Hi everyone. So good to see you. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
totally my pleasure. So I want to start with what I just mentioned. You're not from New York originally. Where did you come from? Why did you come to New York? When? What was the dream? And then I'll do a follow-up after you answer all those questions. How about that?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. November 11th will be my 10-year anniversary of living in New York.
Wow.
I moved to New York in 2014. I was 13 years old. I got a scholarship to the New York Film Academy for their summer musical theater program. And I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. Grew up there, just my mom and I my whole life. And when I got the scholarship, she said, well, I could send you to New York for a summer and you'll fall in love and come back and hate me, or we can pick up and move. And I never thought it would actually happen, but we did it. She sold everything. She found a job within a very short amount of time. We found our first apartment and we were here within, gosh, the conference I attended was in July and we were here by November. So it all kind of fell into place really fast. I always knew I would end up in New York. I always knew this was the place for me. I always knew I wanted to do theater. I started singing at 5, did my first show. I was Annie, shocker, at
Of
9.
course you were.
Shocker, right? At 9. And I knew New York was where I was going to end up, no matter what. How I got here, it didn't matter, but this is where I was going to be. And so to be able to move here and start chasing this dream at such a young age has been the greatest gift. And I'm indebted to my mom for that, truly.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about your mom, who's spectacular, a little bit
Yeah.
later. But I just wanted to say, so you come here with dreams of theater. Did you start auditioning right away? How did that play out? I mean, it takes people years and years and years. Is that still what you want? If you could put anything down in the books for tomorrow, would it be to be on Broadway?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. That is still my goal. That has been my heart in all of this and everything I do. That is my end all. And honestly, too, I've realized over the past couple years too of being a working actor that it's not even just Broadway. I think Broadway is great and I want to do that, but I just want to be a storyteller. I want to make people feel things. And I'm so grateful for the cabaret world and the fact that I've fallen into that. But I want to be a working actor and making stories happen
Mhm.
in front of people. That's been my big goal. But yes, Broadway is like the epitome, like the ultimate goal, and it always has been.
Tell me what your top three sellers are. I mean, I've seen pretty much everything you've done, but the top three shows that if you were going to pitch a theater tomorrow, what would you offer them?
Oh gosh. I would say cabaret shows are like a theater Broadway
Like a
show.
cab. Well, your shows are very theatrical. So your
My shows
cabaret
are
shows
very
are actually little
theatrical.
mini
They
Broadway
are.
dramas. So in my
Yeah.
opinion, but
Yeah. Um, I probably would start with Lady Legends of Broadway, which is a based off of a children's storybook, which is A is for Audra, and it goes through the alphabet, and each letter is represented by a different female Broadway legend. A is Audra McDonald, B is Barbara Cook and Barbara Streisand, and it just goes throughout the whole alphabet. So I sing a song,
Z.
Liza with a
Of
Z,
course, Liza with a
right?
Z. How could I not know
Right?
that?
Yeah, it's the cutest thing. I love it. I actually ended up putting the show together in 10 days. It was a crazy story. We had another show that I was planning to do and things fell through and I had to very quickly do this. I learned 16 songs in 3 days. It was and it's been the most rewarding show I think that I've done. It was my first kind of like, hey, I'm an adult, here we go, world, you know? So that's probably one of them. I would say my country show that
Which you
I
did at Urban Stages with
I was pushed
Chill.
by a few people to do.
Yeah.
um, my country show, Hey Y'all and Yeehaw, I think that really ties in who I am as a person, and my roots and where I come from. You get a lot of stories about myself. And then I have a show called Women of an Era that is the story of 6 MGM musical movie ladies, and it ties all of them together in weird ways, of ways that you didn't know that these ladies knew each other. Ladies like Jane Powell, Lucille Ball, Rosemary Clooney, Doris Day. There's 2 others, Judy Garland, and it's probably been that was a feat to do because it was I read all of their autobiographies and all
Well,
of those
this
kinds
leads me to the question. My husband's delivering a package to me. Sorry, hi,
of
babe.
love it.
This leads me to the question of how did all these American songbook ladies of a different era come into your world? I mean, if you're, I'm assuming you're singing Annie and you're singing Broadway scores and stuff. Did your mom play the music at home? What was your background and where did these ladies come into your lives?
That's one of the things I'm most grateful for is the way that I was raised and the music that I was brought up listening to. My Nana was a big MGM movie fan. And so we watched all of the Doris Day movies and all of those things growing up and all the Judy Garland movies. I mean, every time I was there was some kind of movie like that playing on the TV. So I got to know that music really well. And I just loved the simplicity of it. I think I've always kind of been the ingenue storyteller, Disney princess type. And I love being that. I
Mhm.
love telling the stories through those songs because they have spanned generations. They
Mhm.
are still widely known today because of that. And that is one of my goals as a storyteller is to continue my Nana and the stuff that she listened to as a young girl and my that she raised my mom listening to and now my mom raised me listening to.
Well, it's interesting because I could be your Nana in some regards. I could if I had a child young.
There you
Um,
go.
so in essence, I heard that music from my mom and her mother's generation. So it's just a
Yeah.
beautiful thing that the Mopi and Shire song, Our Story Goes On, it's
Yeah.
just like the passing down of the torch from
Yeah.
one generation to another.
It's like
So
wearing pearls at graduation. Like that'll never go out of style. I actually, here, I'll show you. I have this photo. This was my Nana's graduation, twins. And I was the only girl in my high school that wore pearls in my
I could
graduation.
show you a picture of my mom, and it's the exact same
Exact same
black
photo.
shirt with the
Yeah,
pearls,
black
same
shirt with the
haircut.
pearls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
someone gave this to one of her high school friends. She gave it to one of her, I guess you used to do that. You used to
yeah.
give your high school friends pictures, and they gave it to me after she passed. So
No,
that stays on my little table right there.
it's beautiful. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your mom. We heard a little bit how selfless and supportive she was in the beginning, but that friendship is maintained over all these years. I mean, I know how close you two are, and she's not, trust me when I tell you, she's not a stage mom. She's
No.
very laid back, but she just one of my favorite things to do in a show, your show, is to watch your mom watch you because it's just this love. You can just feel it from her. Was she ever in the business, or how did it just come that she just gives you all this love and support?
Yeah, she played band. She was in the band and she was a majorette and a dancer growing up, but never went into the arts in any form like that. And then I think when I was a kid and I started to do it, she was like, "Oh," someone came up to her. I was singing at church and I was like 5, and someone came up to her and said, "You need to get her singing in a choir." Mom's like, "What?" No. But I used to always come in and sing, and we did it. And I have not done anything else since. I always say me and flying balls don't work. I will never be in sports. I can't. This is my moneymaker right here. We
Yeah,
can't risk it.
that's
Um,
funny.
but I think she loves it. She is so creative minded, so creative. I mean, she's made every Halloween costume I've ever had. She could have been a costume designer. I will go to my grave saying that. Like she is just so creative minded. So I definitely think I got that from her.
Mhm.
That my very right brained, creative. And so I'm really grateful for her passing that down, but
Yeah,
it was never like you have to do this. It's never a I'm living through you. It was a okay, I'm here to support you and
right.
lift you up.
There's a big difference there. My mother lived
Really big difference.
vicariously through me, and it was pressure beyond
Yeah,
my ability to deliver, and to have someone in your corner like that who's not competing with you or envious of you and just complete love and support. You're very, very lucky. I know a lot of us have
most.
not had that. So
Yeah. And I love her. I love being around her. I love taking her along with me to things like
well, we
I
love knowing her
love
too.
there.
So
Good. I'm glad.
so let me ask you, you just were cast as Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar as part of the
Yeah.
Singnasium thing. I wish I could have gotten this up in time for us to advertise that for you. But what's next for you? I know that I brokered a deal in London for you. So what of those shows, what show are you going to bring to London?
You did. I'm so grateful to you. Thank
Oh
you
no.
so much. I am doing Lady Legends, the
Oh,
first
you
show.
are good. Oh, they're going to love that.
The
Yeah.
A to Z alphabet, singing all those fun songs. I think it's family friendly. And with it being my first time in London, I just wanted to
At Crazy Cox, and what's the date again?
January 26th. It's a Sunday at
Okay.
7:30 p.m.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So, my London peeps who are watching this, make sure you go see her. It's an amazing show. Yay.
Yeah.
And after that, what's any new news? Anything coming up that we should know about?
I am a part of the Tropicabana trio for Scott Barbarino's Big Night Out at Lips. So we've got 3 dates. I think there's one in, let me look so I don't get this wrong. November 12th, November 26th, and December 10th at Lips here in New York City. And I will hopefully know by the time this comes out, but this is, again, this is part of being a performer. I have a callback for a musical that's happening here in the winter. I don't want to say what it is, just in
No,
case
don't jinx it.
don't jinx it. But that's part of the process is, going in and doing your best and being a storyteller first. And then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, there's something else coming down the pipe. So
What's your day job and how does that accommodate your auditioning and your schedule?
I am extremely lucky. I'm a nanny to a
Oh,
6-year-old little girl named Lila. And we get called sisters all the time, or I get asked if I'm her mom a lot. But she is the most wonderful. She's so sweet. And she is also very creative and loves to sing and loves doing Sudoku puzzles with me.
oh.
I think deep down, I'm really a 100-year-old woman trapped in a 23-year-old's body. And so I'm, training this child to listen to Meg Flather and Rosemary Clooney and all of these wonderful ladies. So I
What
have
has she taught you?
I think my storytelling has honestly gotten better since I have been working with her. I think I've been a nanny and a babysitter for a while. I love kids. I've always known I wanted to be a mom. And so this is my way to kind of have a mother kind of role in someone's life, but be able to give them back and still be 23.
And still go make that audition. Yeah.
Exactly, and still make the audition. And so I think seeing her, picking her up from school every day, and the big smile that I get, or the little tongue she sticks out at me when she sees me from across the room, like those little things I have stored away in my brain to use in my storytelling of remembering what it's like to be a kid and having an imagination and all those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful that her family is so supportive of me being an artist. And if I get an audition or a show comes up, I've for Jesus Christ Superstar, I was like, I have to leave every day at 5. And they're like, no worries, we'll meet you on the train if we have to, and like swap her and you
Oh,
can
that's
run. Like,
great.
they're absolutely some of the most fantastic people I've ever worked for. I'm so grateful for them.
So because you're younger and it's more a part of your generation than it was for ours, except for way back in the day when they had Star Search. How come with a voice like yours, you haven't really gone, or maybe you have auditioned for those TV programs? Because I have feelings about them in competitions in general, but they do launch careers. Why
Yeah,
have you tried for any of those or?
I tried The Voice last year. I did the virtual auditions. I played a Brandy Carlisle song on guitar, and I did do America's Got Talent twice as a young child. And I got all the way to the end both times, right before you get to the TV round of the producer, where they're like,
Mhm.
"Okay, here we go," and they wanted me to sing pop music.
Yeah.
And that's just not where my heart is. I
Yeah.
can see myself having a country music career one day, but for now my heart lies with theater and cabaret and golden age musical theater, and that's where I truly feel my best self is
Mhm.
singing that music. And unfortunately that's just not what they're looking for, I guess. So
What's been the best and the worst part about the being in the cabaret community and about doing cabaret versus theater?
that is a good question. I love that. I actually have thought about this a lot. The best part has been honestly the women over the last 2 to 3 years that have really come alongside me and championed me and
Yeah,
helped
you
me.
have a lot of cabaret godmother
I do,
and
I
good
do,
ones.
I do have a lot of good ones, a lot of aunties, as I call them. That has been more than my wildest dreams. I could never have imagined, it makes me cry thinking about it. I
Mhm.
could never have imagined these women um taking a young 20-year-old girl who just wants to sing and tell stories and really championing her and lifting her up and trying to encourage her to grow as a storyteller and grow as a human being outside of cabaret too. They're like family now, you included.
But
So
it
that's
also includes like Meg Flather, Sally Mays. Who else is on that list? I mean, you have some
yeah,
quite notable ladies who have been rallied
all
around you.
all of those girls, Wendy Russell, Karen
Carolyn
Mack,
Montgomery. Yeah.
yeah, Carolyn Montgomery, all of these incredible ladies, Lisa Vigiano, Karina Sowers Adler, Natalie Douglas, Katie Sullivan. I mean, all of you
Yeah.
have really just been such true champions for me. And I think that kind of has helped. The hard thing is being young in this industry that is wasn't really designed for young people, it feels like. It really is
Well,
something
because
that
we don't expect the young people to know the American Songbook the way you do, and the
absolutely,
extended American Songbook, not just, to embrace the Rosemary Clooney's and stuff. It's not what people our age think of. So when they sing a young person doing that material, like, well, they expect me to sing it. They don't expect you to sing it.
absolutely.
So I think it's wonderful that you're perpetuating, that. And
Yeah,
I think that all the ladies that you mentioned, myself included, rallied around you because of talent and kindness, because you are of an ilk of a generation that we want to support and nurture and love and bring up because we've got to keep this songbook going forward, and the storytelling part of how you perform. My fingers are crossed for you in terms of whatever this audition is, and come back and talk to me if it happens. But
yeah.
I really wish all good things for you, Hannah, because you came on the scene like gangbusters, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about you. And then when I met you in person, you were so sweet and down to earth, as well as being a great talent. So I wish you all that you wish for yourself. Everyone out there, I'm going to have links to anything that will lead you to hearing what she sounds like, her shows. I'll keep it updated for the next couple months to let you know where she'll be performing, including the Scott Barberino thing that she's going to be doing. But good luck to you, my angel, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure anytime. I love you dearly.
So that's another Sue's Muse in the can. Thank you for joining us. And we are Nightlife Exchange. See you next time. Thank you, my love.